people existing outside of the gender binary have been documented as early as 3000 BCE. It's not just a cool, trendy phase.
How? How is anybody still taking this stuff seriously in 2026? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, your home for independent and nonpartisan commentary and analysis on politics, media, internet culture, and more, and sometimes extremely unserious and fake things, like the supposed holiday on July 14th, just yesterday, that let me know how you celebrated in the comments below. International Non-Binary Day. You know, that super real, not at all fake identity that people claim because they, I don't know, have a nose ring and like to wear pants, but they're a female or something. Yeah, well, apparently that's a international holiday. We're going to engage with some of the cringe about it, reiterate why none of this is real and why it makes the LGBT community look like a joke, and then actually go over, and this is the depressing part of this, the Democratic politicians still peddling and promoting this stuff at their own disgrace and disqualification from serious adult conversations, in my view, even though we're in the year of our Lord, 2026. First, guys, I'm going to show you a video from a non-binary influencer educating us bigots about their super real identity. Let's watch.
Some reminders for Non-Binary Peoples Day and every day. Non-binary is an umbrella term that includes anyone who identifies outside of the gender binary. For example, I'm agender, which means I don't resonate with gender at all, but there's tons of other identities. There's no right or wrong way to look non-binary. We don't owe you androgyny. And while clothes can affirm gender, they don't equal gender. Even though the term non-binary may be new to you, people existing outside of the gender binary have been documented as early as 3000 BCE. It's not just a cool, trendy phase. And the only reason you're seeing less people use they, them pronouns is because y'all keep making a stink about it. But even so, pronouns do not equal gender, and not all non-binary people use they, them pronouns. But yes, you do know how to use they, them singularly, and it's still grammatically correct.
I just don't want to.
I have a new coworker. What's their name? It's that easy. Non-binary people are trans, and that's because trans simply means to not align with your assigned gender at birth. And while we may experience less overt violence than our binary trans siblings, we still absolutely do experience systemic oppression. Some non-binary folks seek gender-affirming care like me, some don't. Gender dysphoria is not a prerequisite for being trans. Transphobia affects everyone, and enforcing rigid standards of gender hurts cis people too. But even if it didn't, you should still care about the ongoing attacks and violence on trans people right now. Bye, friends.
We are not friends, girl. And did you, like, I don't know, break into the Blues Clues house and film your content there? Like, what is going on with this video? I have so many questions. But my favorite thing about this is that we're told, right, that non-binary is an identity for people who identify as neither male nor female, even though basically all human beings, even with very, very rare intersex conditions, most of them can actually be categorized as either male or female. Basically, all human beings are biologically male or female. And it's not really that mysterious, actually. But we're told that the reason they don't identify as one of those things is because they're non-binary, because they don't feel male or feel female, which really relies on sexist stereotypes. Because what do you mean? You're a male biologically, but you don't identify as male because what? You like to wear makeup, or you want long hair, or you like to be more feminine. That's fine. You can do all those things, just be male. So this whole identity is rooted in sexist gender stereotypes. The reality is that people are male or female, and then they can have whatever personality they want, but your personality is not a protected class. Your fashion sense is not a protected class. It's not a category of identity akin to being black or gay or another immutable characteristic. And by lumping it in with all of us, you belittle the rest and make everything look like a joke. And the other piece of this I'll pick up on as well is this person. She's saying that not only is non-binary valid, but also pronouns don't determine your identity. Your clothes don't. They don't owe you androgyny. So then what the hell is it? Right? If it's not your pronouns, if it's not your, how you dress or anything, in my case, in my opinion, that's not an identity. That's all just a personality. And I don't I'm not going to participate in it, but knock yourself out. But you're saying they don't even owe you that. So literally you can just be a girl like yourself, present totally as a traditional girl would be expected to. Though again, like, I don't even like buying into that framing because I think a girl can present however they want and they're still a girl. But anyway, and then just because they change in their head inside, they don't have to change their pronouns, their clothes, their appearance, anything, and they're still non-binary and trans. But then they could change back in their head and not change anything, and they're no longer non-binary. So what you're saying is that that thing, non-binary then, equals zero. Like, it literally has no substance or content whatsoever. It's a label of nothingness. And yet you're elevating it as if it's some sort of characteristic akin to race or sex or sexuality that needs to be protected from discrimination and defines your identity and makes you somehow oppressed. It's not. This is all absurd. Susan Collins cooked. Conventional wisdom seems to be that the Maine senator will lose her seat in the midterm elections this fall, even after the Graham Plattner scandal. According to our channel partners at Kalshi, people think there's a 53% chance that Troy Jackson will become the next senator from Maine, while just a 34% chance of Susan Collins keeping her seat, and then an 8% chance that Shenna Bellows will win the election. Sure, the headwinds will be with the Democrats, but I think people are counting out Susan Collins too quickly. She's proven pretty resilient in the past. Regardless, the future of politics is also happening on Kalshi, and it is the first CFTC-regulated exchange dedicated to trading on the outcome of future events. If you want to check it out or get started, just get the app on your phone or click the link in the description and use code BRADP when you sign up to get $20 free to trade when you trade $20 today. Now back to the show. And in fact, this is actually sad as well from even the perspective of traditional transgender people who experience severe gender dysphoria. People like this are claiming they're trans somehow, even though they're not transitioning from anything. They're just transitioning from normal to annoying, right? But that's really it. That's the only transition that's going on here. And that you don't need gender dysphoria to be trans. Well, the fact that it's an actual documented psychological and medical condition is what makes gender dysphoria something worthy of accommodation and what makes it legitimate for people who genuinely experience it. And as adults, I've always supported their right to live however will make them happiest. So when you remove that from the equation and start inserting this fake stuff, then people are like, wait, that whole thing is crazy and a joke. So you are directly harming the community you say you're standing up for with this absurd nonsense just to get more attention for yourself and to come up with a fake victim identity so that you can cash in on this clout farming of like oppression points. I genuinely find this crazy, but it's one thing when it's just these rando TikTokers and Instagram people. But the maddest, most insane part of this is that it has actually been picked up on and embraced by mainstream leaders of one of our two political parties. So here is Congressman Jerry Nadler, who is a leader among the House Democrats. He wrote on X, "Today, I am celebrating International Non-Binary Peoples Day. New York became the first city in the U.S. to offer gender-neutral birth certificates in 2019. As the Trump administration targets non-binary individuals and others in the LGBTQ+ community, I am proud to fight for equal rights and dignity for New Yorkers who do not conform to traditional gender roles and expectations." Then he put the non-binary colors and heart emojis. Bro, I hate it here sometimes. What do you mean? The funniest part about this is that he's framing standing up for like non-binary as if that's some fight against gender and sexist stereotypes when it's literally confirming and enshrining them by saying that, you know, feminine men who want long hair or might want to wear a dress or wear makeup or whatever actually can't be males then. So you are literally doing sexism in the name of identity politics, then patting yourself on the back for fighting against gender stereotypes. And I'm sorry, but like, he's bragging about this like this is something good that they started giving non-binary birth certificates in New York. That's absurd. In New York City, rather. That is absurd. your sex is never non-binary. It's never X. So you shouldn't be able to list incorrect information on government documentation. And then it's actually important to have these records and have them be correct, because what happens when you need to, separate people into sports leagues or prisons, and then you need to actually take biological sex into account? Well, if people can modify even their birth certificates to put incorrect information on them, that becomes a lot harder. So maybe it'll make some people feel good, but that's not the ultimate priority here, at least not for most people. And it's not just this one congressman. That's just one example. This is also happening in kind of the bastion of progressivism, the latest leader on the scene, who really is becoming a rising star in the Democratic Party. And honestly, if he was born in America or born a citizen, he would probably be something of a 2028 presidential or vice presidential frontrunner. We're talking about Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York City. Well, he's established all these new DEI departments, and his folks that are running the, Office of LGBTQIA plus Affairs put out a statement. As we continue the fight for the rights of transgender, non-binary, and gender-expansive youth, TGNBGE, new acronym just dropped. Because you know what, guys? I was just thinking, we really didn't have enough long as acronyms around. Thank God we came up with another acronym to throw in the mix. Oh my gosh. Anyway, back to this statement. As we continue the fight for the rights of transgender, non-binary, gender-expansive youth, the Mayor's Office of LGBTQIA plus Affairs will use International Non-Binary People Day to reflect on what we are accomplishing for New Yorkers. 2 weeks ago, Mayor Mamdani unveiled the $15 million plan to expand transgender medical services for youth and adults. We remember that it was only 10 years ago that the first United States court granted a legal gender change reflecting their non-binary identity. We have just begun to fight, and we will not stop until the rights of TGNBGE communities are achieved. Taylor Brown, Executive Director, Mayor's Office of LGBTQIA plus Affairs. Shut the whole thing down. Close the office. Seriously. I'm sure there are legitimate positive services that are offered to gay New Yorkers or what have you, potentially in this office, but how can we have an actual municipal office run by such deeply unserious and comical people and think that it's worth the paper that their stationery is printed on? I genuinely don't know. What do you mean? I would love to know the difference between non-binary and gender expansive youth. Is that when you also are big on the body positivity, so you're really expansive, so you've got the big belly as they're just making up. It's like the Dave Chappelle skit, honestly, the clown car, and you can only fit so many clowns in that freaking car before it breaks down, and we're pushing it at this point. If the car's not already busted, it's real close. And it's interesting to see the extent to which they admit that this kind of ideological gobbledygook is linked to very serious policy decisions. And so that's important here. Because when I made fun of this on Twitter, I got a lot of pushback from people that are like, well, why do you care how someone else identifies? And it's I don't care in the sense of wanting to outlaw it or stop them from saying it. I mean, it's free speech. It's their right. I care because I think it's wrong and dumb, and I'm an opinionated. So that's the first reason I care. But the second reason I care is because it's dragging, this kind of nonsense has been lumped in with me and my rights and my identity as a gay man, and I absolutely resent that. Absolutely resent that. And now you have support for things like gay marriage going down because of the craziness that's been lumped up in with us. And this kind of thing is actually all part of one movement and agenda that includes very serious things. Like when they talk about in this statement, the mayor's office pushing to medically transition minors with taxpayer dollars. I think that's insane. What you're doing is pushing, and that's what they want to do. They're very open about it. And of course, they're lumping it in with their promotion of non-binary everything, even though there is no evidence base whatsoever for giving gender-affirming care to youth who think they're non-binary. That is totally unsupported by medical research and evidence. And you're just experimenting on kids with stuff that could have lifelong ramifications and very serious adverse effects on their health and sexual functioning. But yeah, it's so great, guys. Happy Non-Binary International Peoples Day. Ha ha ha. I don't know, man. This is the kind of thing that is so deeply embedded in some of these progressive groups and infrastructure that I can't really see it going anywhere, but it's really harmful. And it makes these folks look crazy to normal people. It really does. No one ever is going to believe that non-binary is real. That's never going to catch on. It's like fetch. And the more you tie yourself to this sinking ship and you die on these absurd hills, just the more people are going to reject you and reject it all out of hand. But other than that, you're doing amazing on this day after this momentous holiday. I hate it here. Guys, let me know what you think. Let me know how you celebrated International Non-Binary Peoples Day in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't yet. Do hit the like button. And do consider becoming a channel member to support my work. I try to be honest and independent and call out nonsense from across the political spectrum, but I do need support from viewers like you. So the best way to support me is by becoming a channel member. Hit the join button or click the link in the description. And as well, I also do videos where I react to members-only comments and questions. So if you have feedback for me or questions you want to ask me, just become a channel member, then drop them down below, and you may be featured in an upcoming video. With that, guys, we'll leave it there for now, and be back with more real soon.